everyone, welcome back to Hannah Worldwide and Friends, the podcast about living abroad. Please share it with your friends and family if you like it. You never know who needs to hear all about living abroad, going overseas, traveling the world, and be a little bit encouraged. Thank you so much for listening and for following around. I really appreciate you all. Hi everyone, please welcome with me Ashley Russel. Ashley was born and raised in New Zealand and is a quarter German, a quarter English and half Kiwi. Parts of her family are living in the UK and Ashley has been visiting them throughout the years. She has now made the decision to change up her life in New Zealand and to move to the UK for an unknown amount of time. She is also producing music under the name Humble Daisy, so please go and check her out. Welcome, Ashley.
Thanks, Johanna.
Thank you so much for having time to be with me here today and to do this record. And I'm especially excited because you haven't moved yet, but you are soon moving to go overseas to live in the UK, not London directly, right?
Nah, yep, going to be living in a place called Trowbridge.
And today I want to try to capture all these emotions which are going on before you actually make the move and before you are going. So far I always had people who already had that experience, who already lived overseas or traveled a lot, but in that case it's really a specific type of feeling you have before you go.
Yep.
So
The nerve-wracking and excitement, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about why you have decided to move to the UK?
It's a long story. I guess I have like a few probably main factors. There was my cousin recently had a baby, or him and his partner had a baby, which was about, she must be almost 2 by now, so I say recently, but it's been actually quite a while. So I'm wanting to go over and meet her. She's so adorable. Her name is Sophia. So there's that, but also just like the music side of things and the opportunities and artistic. I'm a very creative person, so New Zealand is kind of cramping my style a little bit. Yeah. So hoping to get over and do some more of that with more people.
Great. So would you say the decision of going overseas and where to go was pretty much an easy one since you have family over there?
Yeah, definitely the easy one. I've never really thought of myself much as a traveller, or I don't really take too much interest in like travel. So I'm really just going over for friends and family, rather than exploration. That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily the landscape and exploring the cities and the countries over there. It's more like family connection and making sure that you kind of bond with the part over there.
Yep, absolutely.
So you haven't met your cousin's child yet?
No, they just send me lots of photos and it's all, and I just want to smoosh her little cheeks. So... Yeah.
So what would you say have made you think about leaving the country to go overseas? Was it always in your mind of, okay, you're a creative person, you produce music. New Zealand is a very small country with like 5 million-ish people. And did you always want to put yourself out there and thought about it before? Like, okay, if I really want to make it somewhere with my music or be more creative, I need to go somewhere else?
Yeah, you pretty much just said it all, but yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think especially if you want to be a musician, there has to be opportunities, and there's been opportunities in New Zealand that I have taken up, but I think bigger country, more people, more opportunities, so it's always kind of, I guess it's been a goal, but I haven't been heading straight towards it the whole time. But I think now, just with like other situations in life, it's kind of just been like, yep, we can pack up and go now. So I don't have anything really tying me down or like holding me back from going. So yeah.
Wow. And what are the emotions? What kind of chaos is going on there at the moment?
I feel so many emotions at the same time. So I'm like really, really sad because I have so many friends here. Obviously, I've lived here like my whole life, and then I've been at the company I'm working at for almost 2 years. So I've got all my friends there, and then like my church friends, and then just friends that you just gather from high school friends. I don't know. So, and my family, we're all so close. So it's going to be really sad to like leave them behind, and I'll only be able to call them on the phone. So really, really sad, but at the same time, really, really excited because then I'll be able to meet the other part of my family. Or like I have met all of them before, but get to know them better and spend some proper quality time with them. So I'm really excited for that. And obviously moving into a new house, and I really love moving. So I always love moving to new houses because then you just get to redecorate the room and everything. So
it
so
really shows really shows your creativity, I feel.
Yeah, new spaces, very fun. Yeah, so there's that. So I'm like sad but excited. Yeah, and then also stressed, obviously, because I'm trying to get rid of all my stuff. And I've accumulated so much stuff. How did this happen? So, yeah, there's that as well.
Yeah, I totally relate to that. I remember a little bit of how it was when I left. It's really a mix of emotions, but would you say the excitement is actually overweighing all of the other emotions?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, if I was feeling too sad, I don't think I'd probably back out. I don't know, maybe. Am I that much of a coward? I do not know. Yeah, but definitely very, very excited.
And would you think it's like kind of a certain personality to do these kind of decisions, to do a move just like that? Or would you say you were always kind of a free spirit and you didn't really feel like you were just home on one spot? You are feeling home like in a lot of places? Or where do you feel like your personality was playing a role in that decision to just go and not necessarily worry too much about it?
Yeah, well, I've always been a crazy person. So being in one place for a long time, not fun. As I said, I like moving houses. So it was always going to happen that I was going to go somewhere else. I've been talking about moving overseas and doing stuff for ages. So, yeah. But you have to be a certain amount of self-confident to just walk over to another country on your own as well, eh? So, so I've got there. I feel like if I went a couple of years ago, it would have been a very different story. So, I don't know. It feels like everything's kind of come to a point. But, yeah, personality-wise, I don't know. So, yeah, some people are really just homebodies, eh? And they'll just stay at home, stay in their country, and they just love doing that. But no, I want to get out and see people and do things and get my head around some other cultures and perspectives. I love learning. So, yeah.
I think it's interesting to hear that you're not necessarily interested in like traveling around over there much, but learning, growing, putting your music out there. Do you have any other projects you want to kind of look into when you're over there, having more opportunities and options?
I don't know. I'm not really a plans person, so I haven't like made much plans. I just kind of know what I want to do. So like the main things is just like family, music. Obviously I've got a job over there, so that kind of comes into it as well. But I feel like that's less of a goal in like what I'm going to do with my life. It's just more of a must make money in order to have some fun in life. Yeah.
I have listened to a really nice episode of my favorite podcast, which is from Jay Shetty. Mm-hmm. And he interviewed someone and he said that sometimes it's just not the case that your job is your passion. I know we all would love to have a job which is our passion and it would be the ultimate goal. But sometimes you just need to have a stable income, which is your job, which is supporting you so that you can live your purpose and your passion.
Yeah.
And that sounds like it, right? Like you have that job, which is not necessarily your passion, but you're interested enough to do it, to be stable, to be secure, and then support your passion with that, right?
Yeah, and then it all kind of comes together. I feel like I enjoy my job at the moment, and I kind of hope that I will enjoy my job in England as well. But yeah, no, you're right. It's just kind of like the building blocks for everything else to kind of sit on, like music and stuff. But the good thing about the job that I'm going to is that it's 4 days on and 4 days off, and like they're all day shifts when they're on. But I think it's like 11-hour days, which is going to be hectic. But 4 11-hour days and then 4 days off,
which gives you plenty of time to actually go out and put yourself out there. Like I have seen last year when I went to London, so many street artists and great singer, great musicians, great artists in general, like not necessarily everyone is a singer. So that was so awesome, and seeing how much culture there is.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that.
You have mentioned already, or I know from you, that you are going over to already live in a house with a lady who has ducks and dogs.
And chickens. Can't forget the chickens.
Chickens.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of just highlighting your personality again.
No, I'm really excited. So, yeah, I think she's 60 years old, and she just has a little house. It looks quite small, but yeah, she brought down the price of it for me as well, so that I could kind of afford to live there. And
that's so cute.
Yeah, so she has ducks and chickens and dogs, and I'm so excited for that because I come from a farm, so the animals just makes me happy. And she's like, yep, and there's fields all around, and there's like a river nearby as well, so like all the nature stuff. I love nature. It always just feels like, it just feels like a big hug from the earth, you know.
I can actually feel it too. I can picture you there, and I can see you really happy.
Hopefully. Yep, hopefully that's the case.
Are you one of these people who are believing in like the universe is kind of aligning everything with what you need and want, or that everything happens for a reason?
Definitely a believer in everything happens for a reason. But there's a lot of different paths, eh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm a Christian, so there's
definitely
that whole thing as well. You'd like to hope that someone's watching out for you and got control of the whole situation, and if you're kind of doing the right thing or being nice to people, then
it will come back to you.
Yeah, opportunities open up and you can step through and not ruin them all for yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. And you know the saying, like, if you close the door, a window will open. So
I've not heard that one before.
Oh, right. I don't know if it's just a German kind of thing. But yeah, it's like it doesn't have to be that the door is closed and then you just can't go through it. It just means like, okay, a different door, different window, something opens up for you, which is just a different way, maybe even a better way. So that's also a quite nice positive outlook on life, I feel.
Yeah. Yep. No. Always looking out for opportunities. Eh? It's so much fun to be had, you know? Yes.
So you said you're not necessarily a person who is planning a lot, right? But in that case, you now go over knowing you have a job, you have a house to live, and you have family over there, right? So kind of all you pretty much need for it, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's worked out really weird. It kind of all came together very smoothly, and I was like, well, that's suspicious. Like,
there is the window.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you didn't really plan much. It was more like opening up as you kind of like unfolding.
Yeah, I mean, I quit my job here without having, like, I just bought the ticket and then I quit my job, and then I was like, didn't have anything set up, so there's every chance that I could have just ended up over there with no house and no job. And I was kind of like, if that happens, maybe I'll just get a hospo job and do that for a while. So,
Yeah.
But no, everything kind of came into place, which was really cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm.
Good things happen to good people as well. So, but also I don't want to say it this way, because then bad things happen to good people too. So
Life happens to everybody.
exactly. What do you hope to gain from this experience, or what do you think is going to happen over there? How do you kind of picture your life over there?
What I hope is that, two great hopes is, one, that I can get to know my family heaps better and just be able to like form a really cool relationship with my cousin's baby. I've just never, like, I don't have any nieces or nephews or anything, so she's like the first, I guess, in that generation of our family. So really, really want to form like good bonds, be the cool auntie, and then but want to find a band. I'd love to be able to find a band and just start making some good music with people, because I've been in bands over here, but it's never really been the kind of music that I like, I guess. I've been doing some country music with this guy Tony Lee, which has been great. It's been so funny, but yeah, I'd really love to be able to get into doing more Humble Daisy stuff and with people. I really love doing music with people. It's kind of boring on your own. It feels like work, so I want to be able to meet the people that are like on my level.
Yeah, and have fun. And I've listened to your music and I find it really interesting. Like, not in the food is interesting kind of way, but it's a really different style, I would say, from what I usually listen to. Also a little bit on the sadder side.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens, because I feel like in life I'm actually really happy most of the time, or like I'm quite bubbly, and and then when I go to write music, it's always just like so mellow. I don't know.
But it's really nice. Like, I think I sent you a message at one point listening to one of the songs, and I really felt it. I really liked it. So guys, please go check it out. Humble Daisy on Spotify.
I dare you.
I will also highlight it in the episode and also on Instagram. So if you guys are interested, always here to have some good people with good music, good taste, and some creative mindsets. Would you say you have a couple of moments where you are wanting to back out and you have a little bit of anxiety or some fears?
I guess because I haven't really made any plans as such, I don't really feel like there's a way I can fail. So I'm not, like I was talking to my flatmate about this the other day, but like if everything in my life, if I fall flat on my face, I've always got like my friends and family that I can come back. If I end up a homeless person, I'm never going to be homeless, because I can always just go back to my parents' place and be like, hey, I'm going to chill on your couch for a bit, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like I've got a good support network. And there's, I think, but it really allows me to just go out and do stuff and try stuff, and not be afraid of failing, I guess. Yeah. So that's really cool.
So you don't have kind of a plan B or anything like that?
Nope.
No. Plan B is no option.
Yep. No plan B.
I can totally understand, because I think that's where, like, usually, as I probably mentioned in a million episodes before, I was quite shy and I was quite anxious and insecure in certain ways. But once I made that decision and I booked the flights and everything, and I had my first hostel, and I kind of had an idea what's going on, I wasn't afraid. I was super excited. I feel really bad because I did not cry at the airport.
I'm scared that I might not do that either, yeah.
And it was even worse when my best friend started crying, and it broke my heart.
Yeah.
And then when I walked into the security area, then my bestie told me that my mum started crying, and that was so hard because I felt so guilty. But I was just too excited. I was like, okay, I will make my way over there, and just too many emotions to cry. And I think in hindsight, I still feel really bad because I think it was the hardest for them. But because you are the one going over and you are super excited, you are not necessarily thinking about all of that. You are out of your comfort zone. You are out of your normal, usual area, like usual routine and the usual people. And you are having that adventure while they are still in their old kind of daily stuff. And so they will notice that you are not around more. But now, since I settled, I can now say, oh, I miss my mom, I miss my bestie, I miss all my friends and family. But in that moment, it was just pure excitement, and I also didn't know what will happen. But I think I also had that thought of the worst can happen is that I will come back, and then I will find another job, and I will just go back to my parents, find another flat. I didn't really see that the worst case scenario was actually really bad. And that reminds me on you right now as well.
Yeah. Doesn't feel... Yeah, like I said, doesn't really feel like you can fail. Well, worst comes to worst, I end up back where I started. It's not that bad, so...
Exactly. What has been the worst advice someone has given you during that time now, since people know that you're going over? Anything people were like, oh, be careful about this, or don't do that, or maybe don't go because this and that.
I don't really allow people to give me much advice. I think I just forget anything that's very useless, you know? It's a bit cocky. I think, I don't know. I've got some pretty solid people in my life somehow, very kindly, but so I haven't really had too much bad advice. Don't know. Have you? What do people tell you?
Well, I remember one of the worst advice I got, which was just, it was meaning no harm. It wasn't a really good intention. But because I quit my permanent job, and it was a lady, my parents' kind of generation, and we know our generation's very different, but she was pretty much telling me I should really think twice about going because I should not give up a permanent role. And that was probably the worst advice, because if I would stick with the same job forever, I would probably be really unhappy now. And I don't think our current times are the same like they used to be, because I do understand the time of our parents and of our grandparents where it was so hard sometimes to find a job, or that being in a permanent position would mean the world, and if you have one, you stick to it and you stay in the same job for 50, 60 years. Well,
wild.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I get it, but I don't. Like, it was still not a good advice for me in that moment. But obviously for you,
I was scared that people were going to give me that advice. I think that was the thing. Like, I was making this decision for a few. So when I decided I was going to go was March the 23rd. And before that, I'd given myself this date. I was like, okay, am I going to quit my job, or am I going to stay in this company? And if I leave this job, I'm going overseas. I will make my decision on March the 23rd. And I just had it in my calendar. Today's the day you make your decision. But so I made that decision then, but I was very scared that when I went to go like tell my parents that, hey, I'm leaving my job and leaving the country, that they would be like, that's a really silly decision, because my job is pretty good, all things considered. like, I get paid a decent amount of money. I don't really have to worry about money at the moment. It's pretty chill. And, yeah, it's permanent, and I'm learning heaps there, and there's quite a few opportunities. So it seems stupid to up and leave. It's definitely not a logical decision. And I was really scared that when I was going to go talk to my parents that they were going to be like, no, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
And so I was really nervous, and so I just went home and I was like, hey, Mum and Dad, I had to tell you something. And they were like, what? So I decided I'm going to England. And they were like, oh, okay. And I was like, what the heck? And Dad's like, you don't have to worry about us, like, thinking that you're doing something bad. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was just really supportive. And I was so surprised. Not because they haven't been supportive in the past, but I just thought, yeah.
It's a different thing to be like, hey, Mom and Dad, I will leave you guys for who knows for how long. I'm not having any plans on coming back yet, so bye.
Yeah, no, and they were just like, yep, nope, you go, girl. And I was like, oh, bless. Love my parents.
That's really awesome.
Cool. Yeah, but also, because I'd been talking about that, like, with Michelle from work, who's, I don't know, but she's worked in a few companies, and she has worked in England before.
Yeah.
And then came back here, and she was saying that she did exactly the same thing at her age. At my age, sorry. But, yeah, so she went over at 24 and then worked over in England for a while, and then ended up with Apple, I think.
Yeah.
And then came back here and picked up another job, easy peasy. And then now she's, fancy ass lady in our company. So it really worked out for her. Yeah. And I was like, that's really encouraging. I found that really encouraging. So, yeah. So I haven't really had much bad advice. I anticipated bad advice, but did not receive much. So that was been really cool. I guess actually there has been one bad piece of advice. Everyone keeps telling me not to bring back an English boyfriend, but but you can't stop this stuff from happening. But honestly, I really want someone with an Irish accent. Irish accent's really good. So who knows?
Okay. Well, as long as that's the only advice.
That's right.
So I'm really happy to hear that your parents were so supportive. I think it makes it way harder if they are not having your back. And especially if it's like that them missing you is holding you back. I know I was really lucky as well. I know how hard it was for my mom, and the time I left was one of the hardest times in her life, I believe. My parents just separated, and it wasn't a nice kind of situation at home at all. And then I left, and so I'm her only girl, and I have a brother, but brothers are like, they're here and they're not, like, it's not the same. And so I also really appreciate the support I got from my parents when I left, because they easily could have said like, oh, we don't want you to go. I mean, I would have done it anyways, but it would make it so much harder.
Hard on the heart.
But knowing she suffers quite a bit, me being so far away, but still not telling me and not complaining because she wants me to live my dream is also very helpful. So I'm always really happy to hear that their parents are probably always struggling, but they are also very supportive. And just nice to see. But my grandma said, why do you have to go? And when I said I want to broaden my horizon, she was like, you can do that here. Like she was
Grandma,
not.
it's the same horizon.
Yeah, so she was not a big fan, but I think in that moment she was just not keen on not seeing me and just didn't really understand why it's necessary. But good for you that everyone around you is really supportive as well.
Yeah, pretty lucky, eh? Yeah, it's good.
Did you get any good, or did you have like the best advice someone has given you in that regard?
I don't know. Johanna, maybe I just don't listen to people.
You're just like,
trying to think of things.
Skipping along.
Do what I want. No. yeah. When it comes to advice, people tell me a lot of things, but I don't remember exactly what people have said. Yeah.
Do you think you filter it out, like the things you actually need in that moment are sticking, and then the rest is kind of going through?
Yeah. That must be it. I don't know. I think for me, because I'm a Christian as well, my mum's always just said, like, make sure when you get over there, you find a church and then you can find friends. And I think having like a group or like something that you can just fit straight into and almost feel at home overseas.
Yeah.
It's going to be, like, that'll be really nice. I think I'm lucky to have something like that. Also, music. Like, you can just join music groups and make friends really easy. I think that's the biggest thing is, like, I just don't... Everyone's been like, make sure you make a big effort to make friends when you're over there, because the last thing you want to be is, like, alone and sad on the other side of the world. And I have my family and stuff, but definitely want to have people around that you can just enjoy.
Yeah.
Be known. Yeah.
I think I just recently had an episode where I had someone on and we had the discussion about how difficult it can be as an adult to actually make friends. It's not like when you are younger, you just run up to a kid and shake hands and give a hug and that's it. And you're friends for life. You really have to make an active effort to get to know people, to maintain friendships, and to make sure that you meet up every now and then or talk frequently or...
Yeah, definitely. You have to be very intentional, and especially like choosing the right kind of people that you want to be around. And that kind of build you up rather than kind of ruin everything for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's probably... I mean, relationships are the most important thing in life, I think, so...
Yeah.
That's probably the best advice people have told me. It's just make sure you get over there, get into some groups and make some friends.
Yeah. No, definitely a very good advice. I think if you go and you stay by yourself, no matter how much you love being by yourself, I think at one point it will be just too much alone time and you will start thinking about a lot of stuff all the time, and I think then at one point it might kind of tip over into feeling lonely rather than enjoying alone time. So I think that's a very good advice. And I also believe, at least because I grew up Christian, I do believe that I took a lot of positive things from that, having a community, growing up with a lot of people who are kind of looking after each other, having same values and stuff. I think it helped a lot. And now I can say I really surround myself with a lot of amazing people, good intention, kind, having a good heart. Yeah, I think that's really the key.
Yeah. Key to a good life. Kind and loving people. Yeah.
Coming back to your parents, because I feel like sometimes they say, yep, super supportive, and then deep down they might be still like quite anxious and sad. But how did they react with the whole situation of, I'm not sure when or if I will come back?
Yeah, they do not believe me. I don't think they want to believe me. They're like, you'll be coming back. And I'm like, I'm not as sure as you. Yeah.
It's their safety mechanism that they are not like stressing out, I will never see my daughter again.
Yeah. And my sisters, especially my youngest sister, just like so sad. And they're like, when are you going to come back? And I'm like, I wish I could tell them. I wish I had like a date on it, but I don't, and I don't want to put a date on it because I just want to have space to do stuff and not be limited. Yeah, so I think, I mean, I think they're all just assuming that I'm going to come back at some point, but I don't even know. What if I love it over there and don't come back?
Then that's exactly what you're gonna do.
Yeah, then I'll just like draw them all out of their countries and over to England with me.
I tried that. It's not gonna happen.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad energy, huh?
Sorry. Honestly, I really tried that because when I realized after my 1 year that, maybe I stay another year and maybe I stay as long as I want to. people still ask me, oh, will you come back or will you stay? And I'm still like, I don't know. And I tried to get some friends over here, not just for visit, and even this is like harder than expected, but also to stay here. Nope. Everyone is like, it's great, I'm sure it's lovely over there, but no. So good luck.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll just have to make replacements. Yeah, no, I do not mean that. My friends don't listen to this.
No, I feel like if you have built the right relationship, then no matter how often you hear each other, it will still be the same once you see each other again. I had so many friends which I haven't seen for 3 years, 3.5 because of COVID. And I was so afraid that something will change. And it was just exactly the same with everyone. So nothing has changed. And it was just the greatest gift. So yeah, I think you have surrounded yourself with the right people as well. And they might just come and visit you. And you can still come back. Even if you decide to live over there, you can come back to visit your family. You will always have a home here. So.
Yes, it'll only cost me $4,000 in tickets.
Oh God, yeah,
So
that's
painful.
true. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
You still have your flat here, right?
I do.
You do? You don't?
I do.
You do. And do you have an end date already? Do you have like everything organized on this end when you kind of quit your flat? And
Yeah, it's a bit of chaos actually. My goodness. So I move out next Friday. Yep, Friday, Saturday.
yeah.
So I finish work on Friday, move out Saturday, pretty much. And then I have 1 week until I get on the flight and get out of the country.
Are you moving back to your parents in that 1 week?
Yeah. So I'm going to do that, which is going to be interesting because I've sold my car and they live out in the Wops. So I'm going to want to say goodbye to people, I feel. But how am I going to get back into town to say goodbye? I don't know how it's going to work, but hey, see what happens.
You should have one big party and then...
Yes, we are. We're having a party.
Right.
Do you want to come to my party, Johanna?
I think you actually invited me.
Whoa! Have you not responded to the invite?
I probably said maybe.
Oh my gosh.
Because it was so far in advance that I was like, well, I look at it once it's closer to the date, and now it just reminded me on that, so I will totally check that out.
Yeah, thanks. That would be
because
nice.
I would love to say goodbye to you as well and send you off with well wishes and stuff.
Yeah, well, I definitely want to have that party just to like say goodbye to the people that I really want to see. Get them all together in one room.
Yeah.
So that'll be sad. It's going to be a fun party, but it's going to be sad at the same time. I'm going to do some music and stuff there too.
Yay. Yeah, I remember I had a big birthday party as a farewell party. And everyone came. Still, a few people were missing, but I think we were 40 people or something. And had a nice barbecue. My parents were really helpful as well. And just a really great time. And then... bye.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I totally loved it to see everyone before going over and not knowing when to see each other again. So you're pretty much set to kind of get rid of everything.
Yeah.
Do you already have a little bit of that freedom feeling, or do you think that will come once you actually have your last day at work, have moved out from your flat?
Yeah, I think I'm still waiting for that last day of work because there's so many things I want to achieve and I just have 1 week. So I'm still kind of like in the work zone and I'm still a little bit stressy, just like, I want to make everything really good for the next team leader as much as I can.
Yeah.
And then... yeah, but then moving out of my house, I still have so much to do because I still have 2 cats. Where are these cats going to go? I do not know. So I still, I feel like I'm still in the, just a little stressy. I wouldn't say stressy because I'm kind of like, excited at the same time. I don't know. But there's still a lot to achieve before I go. But I think once I've moved out of the flat and given the cat's new home, finished working, then I'll be like, well, then it's all gonna hit me then. And I give everything to the op shop. Yeah, it's gonna be wild. I don't know. Yeah, really anticipating that moment, but it's gonna be weird.
Yeah, I'm sure. I do believe you will love that feeling of not having any responsibilities in that moment, no job. And since you're also team leader, no people to report to you or anything.
That's going to be crazy. That's going to be crazy. Because I just feel like, I don't know. Like being a manager is such like it is a responsibility because you're not just responsible for like the
tasks and
tasks.
stuff. Yeah.
You're responsible for other people doing their tasks and also being okay doing their tasks. And it's quite a lot, like emotionally. Because you really care about them too. So
yeah, I agree.
So it's gonna be so weird. Like I'm gonna be sad saying goodbye to them. But
it's more exciting.
Definitely more exciting going overseas. And I'm like, I'm gonna be someone else's problem. Like
exactly.
I'm gonna be the one getting looked after. So that'll be nice.
Yeah. So looking forward for that freedom.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
I think that was the best feeling I've ever had in my life. I always recall that. And I think so far nothing really came near that feeling of being free and able to do whatever I want.
Yeah. Reinvent myself, chop my hair off, dye it. I don't know. Maybe get some contacts. I could be a whole new person. I probably won't. But
honestly, some people take that as a moment of really reinventing yourself. Like if you have been constantly in a state where you were insecure and not happy with yourself, or you were, let's say, at school and you got bullied, going somewhere else always gives you the opportunity to become who you really want to be. And there's no one who would say, well, you are the shy person, you are this, you are that, because they don't know you yet. And you can just be whatever you want to be. And that's such a great way of describing it. So I'm really curious to see how you will change when you're over there.
Yeah.
If you really chop off your hair.
Imagine.
Colorful.
Tiny little afro.
That would be cool. So very excited, and I definitely want to definitely want to stay in touch.
Absolutely.
And especially we also have like a little project running all together, so hoping that goes ahead.
It will.
Yep, I'm not saying what it is yet. It's a secret, but definitely keen on doing that with you together. And I hope next time I go over to see my family, since I'm already close enough, we might also catch up.
Yep.
And also, we have the best Christmas markets in Germany.
I've been to one. Yes, they're so cute. Yes. Okay, if you come over, you take me around Germany too, please. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. So at the end of an episode, we always have our quick 3 questions, which are answered by just one word or one sentence to keep it short.
Oh my gosh.
Number 1, what country would you like to choose to settle down in?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's such a horrible question for you, free spirit. You don't even want to think about settling down at all.
No, yeah. Words just come to my mind. I am not a settler. Okay,
let me put it this way. Is there any country you kind of feel like you definitely want to go and explore?
I think I just want to, probably England, which is probably why I'm going over there, right?
Right answer. Okay, so number 2, what are you most excited about?
I'm most excited about seeing Sophia, meeting Sophia.
Yeah. Yay, cute. And number 3, what do you think you will miss the most from New Zealand?
My family and friends.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
Did I do good?
totally did. 100 points.
Yes.
You nailed it.
Love it.
So I'm really excited for you. It's 2 weeks from now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wish you all the best. Have the greatest time of your life. This is a once in a lifetime experience. Well, you can repeat it, but it will be different every time.
Yeah.
So really make the most of it. Enjoy it to the fullest. You will love it, I'm sure. If you ever need anyone, you know you can contact us all the time.
Yes.
And thank you so much for taking your time to kind of capture the feeling of the beginning of the moving over and the excitement and all of that.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I love talking.
So thank you everyone for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I see you next time, and bye-bye.
Bye.